So my latest video, reading DRG's negative reviews so that you don't have to, has received a much more controversial response than I expected it to. This video will address the arguments of those that disagreed with my opinion, specifically those surrounding the recently released Season 4 of Deep Rock. If you haven't seen that video, I recommend that you go watch it first. It's on screen now. That way you can form your own opinions before watching this one. First off, that video was not made with malicious intent. I was not trying to bring hate to the reviews that I read. Reading DRG's negative reviews was just good fun for me, and I thought that other fans of the game may get enjoyment out of experiencing them with me. And for the most part, that was true. But for the case of the 5 to 10% of people that had issues for some reason or another, let's go through why I feel that my reactions were justified. Let's address the elephant in the room. There are many people that are disappointed with the Season 4 changes or feel that there was not enough content to justify the 6 to 7 month wait that passed since Season 3 dropped. In my video, there were some reviews left by players with near or over 1,000 hours played that left negative reviews on Steam due to their disappointment with Season 4. Let's first talk about why this is a major problem overall, and then I'll go into more detail on the specific points about Season 4 that people had brought up in the reviews and on the comments of my last video. Steam reviews are a binary system. Either you like the game and are trying to encourage others to buy it, or you dislike the game and you're explaining to other people why they shouldn't. There is no neutral option on Steam. There is absolutely no reason in my mind that somebody with 1,000+ hours played, hell, even 100+ hours played on a $30 game, 10 on sale right now, should be leaving a negative review of that game. This game has provided you with 40 days of enjoyment. 40 days! That's crazy. Leaving a negative review and essentially telling others that the game is not worth playing just because you feel somehow slighted by a completely free seasonal update is mind-boggling to me. You may be disappointed in the season, and that's okay, you're welcome to have that opinion. Where it becomes a problem is when people are reviewing the entire game negatively for an update that again cost them $0. Now I'll talk about why I'm not disappointed in the new season and go over some of the specific reasons that people may feel otherwise. One of the main complaints that has been thrown around is the lack of new content. In the past, new seasons have come with new weapons and mission types, both of which Season 4 lacks. Let's take a moment to think from a game developer's perspective here. Adding a new primary or secondary weapon for all 4 dwarves is no small feat. They have to come up with 4 unique weapons that fit the niche of the other available weapons from that dwarf, not to mention the modifications and overclocks that we would expect to come with them. There are currently 24 primaries and secondaries in the game that the new 4 weapons would have to feel completely different than. Could Ghost Ship have come up with and implemented these in the last 7 months? I'd say probably. I wouldn't put it past them. For all we know, they may be working on this right now, but I'd much rather the devs had the time to flesh out unique additions for all the dwarves than have them rush out 4 new weapons that don't add interesting and new interactions. As for a new mission type, they added an entire new boss to the game in the form of a Rockpox Corruptor, aka Herald. Now, Herald does not get his own new mission type, similar to the Caretaker in Industrial Sabotage, which, judging from what I hear from other people in the community, it is most players' least favorite mission type, including my own. Ghost Ship could have given us a 100% Rockpox-themed mission that ended in a fight with the Corruptor, but they chose not to. Instead of locking Herald to a brand new mission that people may have loved or hated, they added a chance for an interesting and unique encounter to all of the missions that the players are already comfortable with. I'd take this implementation of the new boss every day of the week. There was a point in the video where I essentially say to get good in response to somebody complaining that the new Stingtail and Septic Spreader are too difficult. I stand by what I said, and not in a toxic, you're bad type of way. At the time of making the video, Season 4 had been out for a whopping 5 days, and as of today it's been out for 6. Apparently that's enough time for people to develop what I see as a Call of Duty-like balance mindset. What do I mean by this? I'm talking about the people that get killed by a weapon a few too many times and then they go crying to the devs by whatever means, Reddit, Steam, etc., that the new thing is too strong and has no counterplay. I think that this line of thought has no place in a game as open-ended as Deep Rock. For one, it feels incredibly disingenuous to complain that the update has made the game too hard when you are in complete control of how hard your missions are. I almost always prefer to play on Hazard 5, and I can confidently say that this far, the season has been an increase to the difficulty of those missions. I welcome this change. Hazard 5 has never been easy, but by the end of last season I would fail maybe 1 in 40 missions, and it's a nice change of pace to be presented with new and challenging interactions that me and my fellow dwarves must overcome to be successful. But let's talk about these new enemies, starting with the Septic Spreader. People are saying that this enemy does too much damage and makes defending points like the uplink for salvage missions nearly impossible due to the area denial capabilities. I responded to this with get good, and here's why. DRG is no stranger to creatures that deny an area. We have Praetorians, Oppressors, Exploders, and the Mac Daddy of them all, the Bulk Detonator, who can single-handedly deny you the entire uplink range just by his presence. Why is nobody calling for nerfs to the Bulk Detonator? Well, it's because we are prepared for them. We understand these enemies and have learned how to deal with the threats that they each pose. Season 4 has not even been out for a week, so how can you say with certainty that these new enemies are game-breakingly powerful? I just think you can't. We need time as a community to develop the best practices for handling these new challenging foes. Here are a few examples of ways to deal with the Septic Spreader that I've come up with myself. For starters, I'm an NG main, and with this class alone, I could think of 2 nice and easy ways to counter the Septic Spreader. First is by building a protective roof above the charging zone so that none of the septic goo can reach the areas where you need to stand. If you don't want to do that, I could simply platform over the goo on the ground, reclaiming that space for me and my team. These are just a couple of what I'm sure will become many creative ways to deal with the Septic Spreader in the future. Moving on to the Stingtail. No doubt about it, this is a highly disruptive and threatening enemy. I don't believe that the Stingtail is too powerful in its current state though. I prefer to think of it as a new, very high priority target. Many people have complained that the Stingtail makes it impossible to res your teammates. This is true. If a Stingtail is alive, then you have almost no chance to get a full res off on your teammate. The way to deal with this is to make sure they are your top priority enemy to kill. They are a heavily armored glyphid, so it may be time to consider taking some armor breaking modifications, so in case you find yourself as the last dwarf alive that needs to take out a Stingtail in order to get a res off, you are better equipped to handle that situation. The best defense is a good offense, and with the Stingtail, this could not be more true. If you hear, find it, ping it, and kill it, before it can cause you and your teammates pain and suffering. Now let's talk about everyone's new favorite toy, the jet boots. I love these things. There seems to be people on both ends of the spectrum, from saying that they're OP and game breaking to they never show up in my missions and it might as well be Season 3 plus some new enemies. I think that the new jet boots are in a pretty good place. I know that everyone is excited to get their hands on them in the missions, but if they showed up more frequently, I feel like it would diminish the excitement that you feel when you finally encounter a crate of them. I don't feel super strongly either way about the balance of these things, so let me know where on the overpowered or not spectrum you land in the comments. Alright, now listen up because this is important. I can't believe that I have to say it, but do not seek out the authors of the reviews that I featured in my last video. I've been told that this was happening, and I've since censored all of the authors' names. If you're doing this, you are a weirdo and you need to stop. This video was meant to be some lighthearted fun, so no matter how much you like the game or disagree with the reviews that I featured, it's unacceptable to harass people with different viewpoints, so stop. In my last video I said, I gifted your game to my friends. I bought every DLC, but for the second year you can't fix bugs? I'm sorry to tell you this, there are a lot of bugs in Deep Rock Galactic. As my friends and I say, probably the buggiest game. Everywhere I look, there's like 15 bugs coming at me. I thought I would address the issue of bugs in a more serious manner in this video. Deep Rock has had its fair share of long-standing bugs, like for example the terrain randomly flinging your dwarf across the cave just for daring to stand on it. And in a game with procedurally generated, fully destructible maps, it has to be hard to weed all of these issues out. Season 4 has definitely introduced some new glitchy encounters as well. I'm looking at you, Stingtail. Like in this clip of me being teleported to an area that was far from the original grabbing point, or the one that is apparently randomizing people's loadouts permanently for some reason. I'm hopeful that Ghost Ship Games will soon release some hotfixes that will resolve most of these major issues. Again, Season 4 is still less than a week old, so we need to hold out to see what the devs think about all of the feedback on the game. Overall, I'm very happy with the new additions to the game in Season 4. I hope that I've laid out all of my viewpoints regarding people's sticking points with Season 4 in a clear and digestible manner. And as always, thank you for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.